Hello lovely crafty people, I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Creative Book Shack. I am here to see if I can cover my journal for Junk Journal Madness, which is hosted by Susan at I Totally Love It, and also this month her guest host is Yvette from DC Art Doll Studio. The May prompt is children's book. So I found myself yesterday, which I showed you in Flip Through Friday, this Beatrix Potter book. I've gone through and I have glued together every pair of pages. The other thing I've done is I wanted to see if I could decoupage on material. So I found this old bit of gingham, and this book is going to be all about rabbits, and so I have decoupaged a tissue, a napkin, to the gingham, and I'm going to try and use this to cover this book. So I wanted still to be able to see Peter Rabbit, and so I have cut it like that. I don't mind the blue gingham sticking out this side. I think it's possibly not going to stick out the other side, but I actually quite like it. You can just about see it underneath there. I have no idea whether or not this is going to work, but we're going to give it a go. I have found some old bookbinding glue. The first old bookbinding glue I had been opened, and therefore it wasn't very gluey anymore. But I've got this, and I think I'm going to start by going round the edge of Peter in his little blue coat, and then I shall spread out further to the edges. Make sure I get the very edge done. I'm going to go down, go across there. I'm going to go down the middle there, and then I haven't used this stuff for so long, I've forgotten how much of it I ought to be using. So I'm hoping this light touch is going to do it. Right, I think that might be enough for the front. So I'm going to line up the hole I've cut like that, and I am going to glue it down. I'm going to push it down into there. I'm thinking I'm going to cover this with something, maybe some blue ribbon. But at the moment, what I want to do is just get this stuck down. That appears to be enough glue. I've got a few wrinkles on the napkin on the top, but I'm not bothered about that. I stuck it to the gingham in the usual way. Well, first of all, I decided I was going to try fabric glue mixed with water, and I did, but it was a bit messy. It didn't mix in with the water particularly well, so I just used what did I use? I used this craft tacky glue mixed with water, and that appears to have worked quite well. Right, let us move on to the back. I think I probably need a bit more down there. And we're gonna slap it on all over. I don't want to put too much on because I don't want it going through the material and releasing the napkin because it's too wet. So let's just see how we go with this amount. Okay, I think I've got everything there. Oh, let's put that on there. So let us push that into there and push that into there and see how we look. I can feel it's not damp, but I can feel the glue is soaking through. Now, do I actually want to go for this now, do we think? To start with, what I want to do is just mitre these corners. This is probably right off camera, isn't it? Yes, of course it is. Sorry. I think we could probably take some more off this side, which we will do. And then we will continue with our corner mitering. Let's do that one. Now, what are we going to do with this? I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut it there and there and there and there. Okay. How are we doing on the front? Yep, we're still good on the front and we're still good on the back. Okay. Let's start with this one. Is that going to go over there? No. More needs to be cut off there. So, just going to cut that off. And then turn it round and cut that off. Now, it shouldn't fray. It shouldn't fray because it's absolutely covered in glue. Where I've decoupaged it. I think I'll probably cut these tatty bits off the bottom of napkin. There we go. Right, let's have a go with this. Let's put some across here, right down to the bottom, and see if we can get that to stick. I think we can. I think that's sticking quite nicely. Then I'm going to take some more. I'm going to do that narrower. Still too wide, the glue strip, but there we go. And I'm going to fold this one over here like that. That's fine. And then finally, I'm going to prop this up here. I'm so late starting this because I really couldn't think what I was going to do. And then I found this book in a charity shop yesterday. And I thought it was perfect. So let us put that gingham, ooh, bit creaky, not creaky, crooked is the word I'm looking for. Right, I'm going to rub as much of that off as I can. It will be grubby, but I've got some sticky stuff remover that I will take to it soon. I just don't want it. Oh, I know what I'll do. Let us let's just tear off some greaseproof paper and put that down in there for the time being while we do the other side. Now that needs a mitre. That also needs a mitre, so we'll take those off and then we will start on the front cover. So let's put some glue along here. Like that. And then let's do, oh, top and bottom. Actually, I really quite like this bookbinding glue. It's sticking everything really well. Turn that up like that. I mean, I'm not even having to grip it, which is nice. And finally, oh, done it again. Let's put it on the book rather than on the, make sure you stick down. I tell you what I have got. I've got some metal corner reinforcers. I might use those on it. Okay. Now, I'm going to want to cut this off. I'm going to want to cut this off quite close. That's not too bad for me. Now, how to do this one? Let's do it this way round. Sorry, I know you can't see, but I can. And I'm the one wielding the scissors. Okay. That appears to have stuck reasonably nicely. Something's going to need to go down here because this isn't straight. And something is going to need to go round the Peter Rabbit picture. The other thing I've done is, if you watched my video yesterday, I bought this Peter Rabbit book and I also bought this, which is a photograph album here. And these are cards. So I've taken 2 of those blank cards and I have put rabbits in them. And on the inside, I've put some rabbits. I've cut that off there, put it as a pocket on there. In this one, I've got rabbit picture, rabbits. I've cut this off there, put it down there. I've very lightly inked it with green ink. Now, I think these are going to be perfect for that. So, sticking with the bookbinding glue, I am going to put one of these in the front cover and one in the back cover. And this then will be the start of my children's book. Oops. Now, I'm going to take that. Sorry, knocked you. And I'm going to put that there, like that. Okay, I'll fill it up at some other point. And then, where's the other one? Here's the other one. I'm going to take this and I shall you don't need too much of this stuff, which is great. I'm putting a very thin coating on there and I don't think it's going to come off. So that goes on there, and this then is going to go there, like that. So what we have now is we have Peter Rabbit in the middle with decoupaged gingham, and on the inside we have this that needs something to go in there and there, something thin preferably because that's quite chunky, and we've got this at the back which also needs filling. You can't get this, doesn't really move. You can't get it any further in and you can't really get it out, so I think that's just going to have to stay there. These pages, this I think I'm going to leave, this I think I'm going to leave, and then I shall start journaling on the inside. Oh, I have added another couple of things. I've added this pocket here, which these were what I had left over from Joey Cardmaker's Easter collection, and then I've put another one here. Both times I've put it over the writing because there's no point really in having the words here because I've already glued the pages together and therefore the story isn't going to make any sense. But I'm not sure I want to cover up all of these images because they're beautiful. So that's how far I have got so far with my children's book for #JJ Madness for May, which is hosted by Susan at I Totally Love It and Yvette from DC Art Doll Studio. So I have to use eight materials and make 8 things. I've made a decoupaged book cover. I've used fabric and a napkin. I've used 2 recycled photo frames, plus a postcard, a transfer, a sticker, part of a digital kit from Joey, and then again the same here. So, you know, considering I haven't really started filling it up, materials are pretty much ticked off. When I show you this to you again, it will probably have a more souped up cover on it. But in the meantime, thank you very much for stopping by. Always lovely to see you, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye for now.